Welcome to the exciting rebirth of Superstar, featuring choose your membership rate as low as just $3 a month. At Superstar, you get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes, class passes for Synchronicity University, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of September 5th, 2021. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological week without a doubt. Big, massive moves are happening in the sky now. And the most impressive, the biggest moves really take place in the first days of the week. It is going to be late Monday or on Tuesday, depending on where you are on the planet, that we are going to have a new moon in the sign of Virgo. Now, what makes this new moon so special is that it is connecting with precision with Uranus. Now, this is a supremely harmonious connection, and this is a connection that represents surprise and delight and things changing very quickly and in a way that we love. This is about new insights and changes that happen very quickly as well. And some of those changes may very well be originating from and oriented from within. The energy of Virgo has to do with a few different things. Now, collectively speaking, it has to do with healthcare and medications and how well we understand taking care of ourselves, what that means. With this supremely harmonious alignment with Uranus, there could be very good news on those fronts. There could be the introduction of new medications or new treatments that are very promising as well, that seem like breakthroughs in some way. Now, also possible with this energy is more of a focus on what is happening in the workplace, how people are living as they move through their lives, including their work-related lives as well. And so somewhere in the world, we may notice progress on those fronts as well, whether it's changes to work-related and workplace policies that we start to see, or it is a sense of how particular jobs are done. We may notice ourselves making advancements in those areas. But this energy, of course, is going to play out personally as well. The energy of Virgo has to do, on the one hand, with self-awareness, the smallest moments, the smallest inklings that you may feel within, becoming more aware of them. But it also connects us to a depth of understanding as to the rituals that we engage in, especially as we move through our days. And this beautiful energy is going to invite us to have new perspectives and perhaps incorporate new rituals as well. Because this part of the sky, the energy of Virgo, has to do with habits, that includes all kinds of habits. Now, of course, we can judge other people's habits. I think that it's important not to judge, because I actually think that there's wisdom to whatever it is that we may do repeatedly, especially. And there is actually wisdom to what it is that other people may judge as bad. It's not as simple as doing what's good or not doing what's not good, but rather understanding that all things have their purpose. And when you can understand more deeply, that's when more meaningful change can be found. And I think that understanding at the core can show up right now as well. Hours before the new moon in Virgo, we are going to have Mars in Virgo speaking in supreme harmony with Pluto. I love this energy for us. I feel like this energy is about understanding how change can happen right at the core, right at the center, so that the change becomes that much more profound and that much more long-lasting. There is a sense with this of empowerment, but also the actions we take, I feel as if this represents knocking it out of the park in some way. Especially where it comes to transforming or changing our lived experience as we move through the world. Because it is Uranus and Pluto and Mars and the new moon, all of these placements are in Earth signs. So there's this sense of being practical and the changes happening now being tangible, where we start to see the results in our bodies, in how we feel within our bodies, but also in our lives and how we move through our lives. Our connections with others, yes, but our understanding of meaningful success. What's worth the effort and what isn't? What can you actually transform, and to focus completely on that? Now, I do want to add with this energy, it is said that when you look at what you repeatedly do, when you look at the thoughts you repeatedly hold, it can be incredibly revealing about what it is or whom it is that your higher power actually is. Now, this is something I actually learned from a spiritual mentor of mine many years ago. He taught me that we can say that this is what the divine is for us. This is how great the divine is for us, or what our higher power is for us. But it truly is what you hold your mind on, where you focus. That is ultimately what you're meditating on. And what you're meditating on, that is your higher power. And so I do feel for some of us out there, there is likely going to be a very powerful insight into what our higher power actually is and what we tell ourselves it is, and where there's a distinction or where there's a huge difference. And once we have that awareness, that's where real empowerment starts to come in, because that's when we can consciously decide. We can consciously choose what our higher power or powers are going to be for us, are going to mean for us. As I said, this is a huge astrological week, and not only do we have this very powerful energy of the new moon, of Mars trine Pluto, which is incredible in and of itself. Those two energies in and of themselves would make this that much more an important week, but we've got a couple of other energies to take into consideration as well. It is going to be on Tuesday that Mercury will enter shadow. And what that means is that the larger Mercury retrograde season does begin. Now, Mercury is going to officially go retrograde on the 27th and be retrograde right to the middle of October. So we've got a nice long stay of Mercury through the sign of Libra. But it is right now, starting Tuesday, that as Mercury steps into shadow, that Mercury will begin to walk the path that he will eventually walk backwards on and then forward on. And I would invite you to pay attention to what is happening in your life, because what takes place this week may be understood very differently once we navigate to the middle of October and Mercury does return to this very spot where he is now. And so this is Mercury into shadow in the energy of Libra. And Libra, of course, has to do with partnerships of all kinds. It has to do with one-on-one alliances, how we understand ourselves in relation to others. But it also has to do with the exchange of ideas. It has to do with finding middle ground and diplomacy. I do think in one way we may find ourselves engaging in interactions where previously maybe we weren't on the same page, but now it's like, let's give it another try. Let's give it another go. Now, very powerfully for the collective, because Libra is about negotiation and diplomacy, we may find certain countries approaching the process of diplomacy again, approaching certain negotiations that maybe were let go a while back or a long time ago, now being approached again with an eye towards wanting it to work. And so this is another chance, another consideration, another look. This is a chance to go back and forth with another person, whether we're doing that collectively on a level of nations or whether we're doing that more personally in our own lives. It's a chance to reconnect with others and also reconsider different perspectives. Now, I actually think this can be very valuable because I know a lot of people right now feel that we live in very decisive times, or we live in times where people seem to be on very opposite ends of the spectrum where it comes to belief, where it comes to politics, for example. The energy of Libra can help us to see other perspectives, and especially with Mercury. Mercury, an energy that is often related to siblings, that is the ruling planet of Gemini, the twins. This is going to invite us to talk to each other, even when it's hard, to consider each other's perspectives, even when it's hard. Now, that might feel really big where it comes to thinking about groups of people, but where it is that we're having one-on-one exchanges with people that we care about, and especially with people that we love, Most people out there in their families, they are not going to agree about everything within families. Certainly not on things like philosophy or worldviews or politics or religion. These can be heavy duty topics. And while we don't necessarily want to talk about things before we need to talk about them, or if we don't need to talk about them, it can be very valuable to be willing to be present with someone that you love, who has shown you that they love you, even if the larger beliefs are different. It can be valuable to look at how you are treated and how you are treating someone that you love, or at least someone that you're aligned with, at least someone that matters to you. And so this may be a chance for us to practice perspective and to practice patience in our own lives and in at least one area of life. But this is also energy of communication, right? One-on-one communications, you would think it could be crystal clear, but whatever conversations are happening this week are happening now. Remember, you may see it very differently. What it meant, what was said, why that was said. You may understand that very differently once we navigate into the middle of October, and I'll be here to talk about it every step of the way. Now, finally, Venus is making big moves this week as well. Now, either late Sunday or Monday, depending on where you are on the planet, Venus will first connect in a conversation of tension with Pluto, and then move on hours later, connecting in supreme harmony with Jupiter. And that connection with Jupiter happens right around the same time as the connection of Mars with Pluto that I spoke about earlier. And so we've got this tension, the square of Venus and Pluto happening first. That can be energy that is downright complicated or uncertain. It can feel like there's a whole lot of emotion, especially where it comes to heart and love related matters. Remember, Venus, as we begin the week, is moving through the sign of Libra. This is Venus's home sign, and Venus is able to bring forward some of her very best in this part of the sky. Now, imagine that Venus, goddess of love, in the sign of partnership, speaking in tension with Pluto. And Pluto has to do with power and power struggles and where it is that things can feel unfair. But more than that, I feel like for some, yes, it could play out this way, that it feels like what's happening in love maybe doesn't feel very fair, or there are some power struggles there in partnerships of all kinds. But also possible here is just the desire for very strong emotion, energy that can feel obsessive or addictive can find us at this time, especially in matters of connecting with others. A very strong feeling of fate, of being pulled in a particular direction, and maybe that direction is really not a good idea. There could be something complicated about whom it is that we find ourselves drawn to now, or even something forbidden or taboo about it. But because of the fact that hours later, Venus will connect with Jupiter in supreme harmony. Now, I love that energy. You add to that Mars trine Pluto as well. All of that suggests, on the one hand, wisdom and perspective with Venus and Jupiter, but also with Mars and Pluto, focus, right? Looking at what is practical, what is real, and deciding that you're going to give yourself to that. With Venus and Jupiter, we've got hope, we've got inspiration, perspective. Yes, we may find ourselves having an interaction with someone, whether that's someone we know, but it's a one-on-one exchange that restores our faith. Now, that faith may be the understanding that there is love in the world for us, and we don't have to go in a direction that may not be right, according to our own judgment. But it can also be an understanding or a changed perspective on what we thought was complicated and taboo, instead becoming something more inspiring. So it really could go either way, but the thing to remember is, as much as the energy can become intense and lustful, I would say, with Venus square Pluto, we've also got the energy here that says inspiration, that says hope, and that says sheer joy. If Venus trine Jupiter is anything, it is fun, and it is also an energy of abundance in its own right. Now, this is Venus and Jupiter both in air signs, and so it is an abundance of friendship, of people to connect to, an abundance of ideas, an abundance of genuine exchange of matters having to do with mind, having to do with concepts. But also, yes, this could be great ideas that have to do with creating more prosperity for ourselves, or more happiness for ourselves, or more wisdom for ourselves as well. It is going to be right around Friday that Venus will change signs, moving into the energy of Scorpio. And so we're going to have a few weeks going forward from there of this energy. And this is where love becomes intense. And yes, going back to Venus square Pluto, those themes of love becoming something that we want to feel very deep within us, that we want to feel to our core. We want to know that somebody else cares. We want to know that it's real. We want something authentic. That is going to be part of Venus moving through the energy of Scorpio. But also very powerful attractions, powerful bonds, powerful experiences of intimacy. Now, that can be emotional intimacy, but of course, that can be physical intimacy as well, may find us with Venus in the energy of Scorpio. And we have a desire to bond very deeply with another person. And that may be part of what motivates us in love. Of course, because of that obsessive quality, we may have to find that we need to work on something a little bit deeper, which is not a bad thing either, to look at where it is our own psychological patterns may be repeating certain attributes or attracted to certain types of people that maybe we're coming to understand that we perhaps deserve better. And if that is work for you to do, well, that work may find you with Venus moving into the energy of Scorpio. What I love about this week for us, well, look, there's a lot here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological time. It is one of those breakthrough and breakout moments, I have to say, especially with the new moon trine Uranus and Mars trine Pluto. This is all about the breakthrough. This is all about understanding what's worth meditating on, what's worth focusing on, deciding how we are going to live our lives in the smallest moments, and deciding that there is going to be some sense of authenticity as we move through our lives, even when no one is watching, to find a greater sense of focus, but also a greater sense of peace with our choices and our smallest actions. Well, that is one very powerful way to earn our own self-respect. I do think that this new moon energy is going to transform circumstances very quickly for a whole lot of people out there. And the transformed circumstances are going to be practical. They're going to be real. And in some way will change our lived experience for the better. Well, thank you so much for watching. What do you love about this week? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading you guys. And to prove it to you, here are some of my most recent favorite comments. Thank you to everybody who likes, who comments, who subscribes, who shares, who thumbs ups, all of it. It means so much. Thank you. And of course, if you want to know how all this wonderful stuff this week speaks to you in your sign, well, now for just $3 a month, or as low as just $3 a month, you can gain access to expanded exclusive video scopes each and every week for each and every sign at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. At NadiyaShahSuperstars.com, you do get your expanded exclusive horoscopes. Higher tiers get you things like class passes for Synchronicity University, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. Links are in the description below. Synchronicity University and the London School of Astrology invite you to the conference event of the year. Big dog astrologers are going to be joining us, and future big dog astrologers as well, as part of an amazing party that's going to take place over the Autumn Equinox weekend. It's called Embracing the Community, a celebration of Astrologies. Now, all of the astrologers who are going to be there, you should have gotten to know them on my channel over the last few weeks, because I had the great privilege of sitting down and talking to each and every one of them. So you know what it is that you're going to learn. You're going to have a depth of understanding as to whom it is that they are, how it is that they understand the sky, and what astrological perspective that they are going to bring. So we've got all kinds of perspective, as I said, big dog astrologers are going to join us. YouTube star Rick Levine is going to be there. Kabbalistic astrologer Rachel Schwartz, who you know I absolutely love. World-renowned evolutionary astrologer Maurice Fernandez. Michael Lutin, right? Legendary astrologer Michael Lutin. And so many more people. I will flash them up on this screen because it really is a packed house weekend. Some of these people you have seen on Synchronicity University before, but a lot of these people may be new to you as well. But of course, the big dogs, everybody knows them, and it's going to be the first time for some of these big dogs to be participating in a Synchronicity University event. Of course, it's a joint event with the London School of Astrology, the very prestigious London School of Astrology at that. I hope you will join us. There is a discount code to get 50% off. It is a limited use code, and so there are just a few more uses left of it. Once it is that the uses have maxed out, that'll be it for the code anyways, but you can still join us. But yes, if you want 50% off, I would encourage you to click on the link in the description below or visit synchronicityuniversity.com. There you could learn all about these incredible astrologers, or even more, I should say, about these incredible astrologers, and you can sign up. So I look forward to seeing you at this incredible Autumn Equinox event. Link is in the description below. Synchronicity University presents Rachel Schwartz Kabbalah Astrology, the 5-week course for as low as just $5 a class with Choose Your Tuition rate at synchronicityuniversity.com. And that Choose Your Tuition rate is on for just a few more weeks. And so really, Rachel Schwartz is a superstar where it comes to Kabbalistic astrology. And you know, I absolutely love her. I love talking to her. You can find her interview on my YouTube channel as well, the interview we did recently. She's so wise, she's so loving, and she really knows her stuff. Now, Kabbalistic astrology is something that a lot of students were asking for. And so just on that level, it's such a privilege to present it to you, but also to present it from one of the world-leading experts in Kabbalistic astrology. Well, it really is a treat. And so you can learn more about her incredible 5-week course that she is teaching with synchronicityuniversity.com on the official page, but you'll see that she's covering all kinds of areas of life. You'll learn so much about yourself from an astrological and mystical perspective. I know I'll be learning about myself right along with you. And so I hope you'll join us for Rachel Schwartz's incredible Kabbalah astrology class coming up and starting in October. Choose Your Tuition rate is on now, as low as just $5 a class at synchronicityuniversity.com. Links are in the description below. Synchronicity University back to school autumn session is right around the corner, starting in October. Classes with me just about every Saturday throughout the autumn season. Now, I will be presenting much requested classes. We're going to have several classes on the midheaven, the 10th house, more on the 9th house, more on the 5th house of windfalls and luck and love. Plus, we are also going to have a class on how to write horoscopes. So this is where you're going to get my trade secrets, not only in terms of writing horoscopes, which I did write a daily newspaper column that appeared in Canadian newspapers years ago, but I did that for 3 years. I wrote daily horoscopes for newspapers for 3 years. So I know about the writing part of it, but of course I've been doing horoscope video scopes for so many years as well. So you're going to understand the techniques behind writing horoscopes for those of you who feel inspired to move in that direction. And we're also going to look at power couples as well. We're going to look at Pallas Athena, which is something that a lot of people have wanted to learn about, also the asteroid and interpreting it in the chart, going through the signs and houses of your Pallas Athena. And so all of this and so much more is coming up this fall, this October. Now, Choose Your Tuition rate is on now, as low as just $5 a class, which is an incredible rate for all of these classes. So links are in the description below, or go to synchronicityuniversity.com, and I look forward to meeting you in class. A massive thank you to my sponsor for this episode, Modern Day Manifestations. They make bracelets, incredible bracelets. It's all real stones, healing properties and qualities. Now, this is actually one of their bracelets, but I decided to wear it as a necklace because the other day I was watching a documentary about Bob Ross and how he was saying, you know, like, you can make it what you want, do it what you want. The painter, right? The very famous painter. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I want this to be a necklace. And so I made it into a necklace. Officially, it is a bracelet. And officially, they do make bracelets. So these bracelets are gorgeous. I absolutely love them. This is a sunstone. This is a type of jasper. So we've got lots of incredible, this is 2 different bracelets here. So that you can play and have fun and make it whatever it is that you want. So Modern Day Manifestations is the sponsor for this episode. Thank you so much to them. Link is in the description below. And if you use code Nadiya at checkout, you can get 10% off your first order. So already they've got these huge discounts on their site, and then you get another 10% off. So I hope that you enjoy them, and I hope that you love them. And thank you again to Modern Day Manifestations for being my sponsor. The Canadian Astrology Conference is right around the corner at astrologyconference.ca. I hope that you'll join us. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. My nerd hat will be fully on. I will be teaching on Alan Leo, and he is a pivotal figure as part of taking astrology out of more predictive, more fatalistic paradigms and moving it into the new age with his esoteric astrology. So why do people think astrology is new age when it's so old? I'll be talking about that. Alan Leo is the reason for that. And we are going to have a lot of fun. But this conference is going to have a lot of huge speakers. Demetra George, legendary astrologer Demetra George, is going to be giving the keynote. Michael Barwick, that you know from my channel, he's going to be speaking there. And so many other incredible astrologers. And so learn more about astrologyconference.ca for the Canadian Astrology Conference. Link is in the description below. And finally, you can get my take on your unique birth chart by checking out my partnership with Cosmogram. At Cosmogram, you get a dedicated horoscope looking at your chart with my interpretations. You go to their website, you enter in your birth data, and within hours, they will send you a PDF, an electronic PDF. And from there, you'll be able to understand the different aspects and planetary placements happening in your chart and my interpretation of them. Thank you so much to everybody who has purchased one of these reports, who loves one of these reports. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. And so check out my partnership with Cosmogram. You can see a sample report on that page as well. Link is in the description below. And thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I am truly so grateful for it. Thank you for my recent 15-year celebration. I'm so grateful to all of you who reached out, who shared love and encouragement. Thank you so much. I am going to be headed home right around or just after the time that this video is posted. So I will be headed to Canada, and I will be in Canada for the next 2 months. I'm really going to miss Mexico so much. Now, my very favorite holiday here in Mexico is Independence Day, and that takes place over the 15th and 16th. And so it's always this big party that happens here of September. And everywhere right about now in Mexico City, which has been my home for many months now, that I absolutely love, and I'm so, so grateful to the city. It really is a city that healed me. I went through massive changes and relocated here. And this city has been so near and dear to my heart in all the ways it revived me and gave me life. Anyways, yes, right about now, if you walk around, there are tons of these little carts with people selling all kinds of Mexican paraphernalia. It's a whole lot of fun. I own so much of this stuff already, but as a little token to myself, I did purchase these bracelets in the Mexican colors. So you know I like blingy things and flashy things, so that's where these bracelets come from. And this is one way to just feel like I got a little bit of Mexico with me, but really Mexico is a state of healing. It is a state of spirit. And so Mexico, I'm going to miss you a whole lot. But, you know, I always come back. Mexico's been home for almost 9 years now. And I want to say thank you to this city, Mexico City. I want to say thank you to you. You've watched me go through a whole lot of changes since the beginning of this year, and I'm so grateful for the ways in which you have brought love and encouragement and gratitude and hope and love and wisdom, all of that into my life and to my journey, as I've made myself more vulnerable this year than ever before in my work. And so thank you. Thank you for being here in all the ways in which you are, and thank you again for watching. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.